Welcome back to Planet Shib, everyone. This is Ace. Today we're going to talk about advanced Shiba Inu liquidity event tactics. Okay, let's get right to it because I've got a lot of things to unpack. Okay, basically today we're going to be talking about what I call advanced Shiba Inu liquidity event tactics. And basically the purpose of this video, since the Shiba Inu liquidity event is coming up, the purpose of this video is for you to help you take full advantage of the liquidity event. It's to help you maximize the rewards which we're going to get, and to minimize the risks. And I'm also going to introduce you to a few new concepts which will probably help you in the coming liquidity event. But before we get to that, I highly recommend that you watch my previous video. It was titled "The Best Shibaswap Liquidity Event Preparation." Here I spoke quite in depth about some concepts which are going to help you get prepared. I spoke about liquidity pairs. I spoke about staking and burying and providing liquidity. I think it's a really good foundation. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that you watch that before this one, because we're going to be speaking about a bit more advanced techniques to help you out there. Okay. Having said that, let's get right to it, guys. Okay, so basically, the liquidity event, as you know, it's a 14-day event, and during those 14 days, Bone is going to be getting minted at a very high rate, at 10 times the rate that it will be after that. And during the event, you're going to have an opportunity to take any of the tokens which you currently have and either bury them or dig them. And burying, the official term is stake, but in the Shiba Inu ecosystem we call it burying, or we could dig, which is another term for providing liquidity. And when you do that with your tokens, we're going to be given rewards, and the rewards come in the form of Bone, ETH, stable coins, and Shib. And that's the purpose of this liquidity event, is so that we can provide liquidity to help Shiba get off to a good start. So this concept of staking and farming is actually a term called, it's part of a term called decentralized finance. So decentralized finance is basically finance which takes place in the crypto world. We have formal finance which takes place, in banks and institutions, in stock market and stuff. But when finance takes place on blockchains and through cryptocurrency, it's basically called decentralized finance, or DeFi. So I'm going to explain a few concepts of DeFi today, and hopefully that'll give you a good grounding on some of the advanced concepts we're going to talk about. I'll look for a good definition of decentralized finance to see if we can get things rolling. Okay, decentralized finance is a blockchain-based form of finance that does not rely on central financial intermediaries such as brokerages, exchanges, or banks. So basically what you get here, it's a form of finance that doesn't rely on banks. Instead, it relies on, it's blockchain-based. So basically that's what it is. So having said that, today we're going to talk about burying and digging and its relation to the liquidity event, and I'm going to try and outline a few strategies to help you get the most out of the coming event. Let's get right to it. Okay, cool. Let's talk about burying or staking. Basically, when you bury or stake during the liquidity event, you're going to be taking any of either your leash tokens, your Shib tokens, and when you eventually get Bone tokens, and when you bury them, you're effectively just locking them into the system, and then you're going to get then there's a certain allocated amount of Bone which you're going to be getting a share of. I will show you what we spoke about in the previous video. Basically, each token is going to get has a certain percentage of Bone which is going to be allocated to it over the 14 days. For Shib, it's about 2.7 mil. That's based on 13 seconds being minted per block. And Leash and Bone have about 9 mil. So basically, Okay, I think having said that, I'll just work with a bit of an example. So imagine that there's only five of us who have tokens. Let's say Shib for this example. Ace has 150 tokens, James has 1,000, Michael 5,000, Amy 350, and Elon has 10,000. So in total, there's about 16,500. And this is our percentage allocation. So basically, if these are SHIB tokens, we are going to get a percentage, a percentage based on how much we hold in relation to everyone else. That's a basic overview of how much bone we are likely to get. So in a nutshell, one strategy, if you wanted to get more bone, in this case, you would typically increase the amount of bone that you'd have. So if I was to increase mine to increase my standing, I'll suddenly get 8%, and it would lower some of everyone else's, and I'm suddenly now getting, in this case, 231 as opposed to before when I was only getting 24. And that's just a fundamental of how staking works. This is a snippet from the Wolf paper. Basically, when you bury your SHIB, you enter the staking pool. Your staked SHIB gets converted to a token known as XSHIB, and that XSHIB it qualifies you for these rewards. You're going to get a share of 3% of the total bone per block, which has been allocated to SHIB. That's this here. This is 3% of the total bone per block, which has been minted, and you'll get your share of that in relation to everybody else. And for this example, and just so I don't go too long, I'm going to focus on Shiba Inu, but I'll quickly touch on the other ones. In leash, if you do have leash, your reward will be 1% of bone per block, and a percentage of swap fees. So at first you might think that's less, but there's actually a lot less holders of the leash token. So there's certainly a possibility that you could actually get more bone just from the fact that there's a lot less holders of leash. Currently, there's about 500, close to 600,000 holders of the Shiba Inu token, and last time I checked, we were about over 20,000 for leash holders. So there's that to look out for. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper concerning staking. Oh, before I go, I think I was supposed to give you guys a definition of staking. Let's see if I can. Okay, staking. Let's see what I can look up. Okay, what is staking in crypto? Cryptocurrency staking. It refers to locking up a digital asset to act as a validator in a decentralized crypto network to ensure the integrity, security, and continuity of the network. As an incentive for helping to secure the network, stakers or validators, which is us, are rewarded with newly minted cryptocurrency. So that's the newly minted bone in our case. That's our reward. I'll quickly try and see if I can find another definition for you guys. I think I found one before. Okay, basically, yeah, this one's not bad. What is crypto staking? Staking is the process of depositing cryptocurrency into a smart contract on a network to receive tokens as a reward. So basically, that's what we're doing, guys. We'll be staking. So let's go a little deeper. Okay, cool. So what I've done here, this is pretty much the exact same sheet from before, but I'm showing you what's happening during the 14 days. Since we have we know that there's a maximum of 2.7 mil, which is going to be minted and allocated for the Shiba Inu token during the 14 days. All I've done is I've split that to how much exactly each particular day. It's at this rate, it's about 196,000. So here we go. As we know, these are our holders. So this is what's quite likely to happen over the 14 days. In the beginning, there's probably not going to be that many people in out of the entire holders of Shiba Inu tokens. Not that many people are going to stake and hold, mostly because it's not really known when Shiba will be launched, and if it does, maybe a few people will pounce on it. And so if you get in early, can you see that here in this example, in the general example, Ace here was only getting about 1%. That's in the general example. However, on the first day, if it's just Ace and James, Ace will suddenly be getting 15% because well, at least 15% if it's just between these two. And if he'll be getting 15% of all this bone over here. So instead of, if it was everyone like throughout the whole 14 days, Ace only getting 1%, on this first day, that 1% is only 24,000 bone, he'll be getting 15% of this 196. So let's just see, what is that even going to be? 15% of this 196,363.64. So yeah, already Ace would have been having a lot more than he would have throughout the whole 14 days. Just like that. So and as the days progress, more people are going to start pumping in, and as more people start jumping in, if your stake doesn't increase, then likely your rewards in bone will start decreasing. But incidentally, your rewards in fees probably will be increasing because more people will start using the swap, and your rewards in fees will probably start increasing. Remember, as I said before, for Shiba Inu, also gets 0.1% of all swap transaction fees in Ether, and we also get 0.05 swap fees, which will be converted to Shib. So that is actually quite a good reward. We will be getting three sets of rewards just for staking Shib. I'll repeat that. You're going to get bone, ETH, and Shib, extra Shib, just for staking your Shib token in that example. So, but as more people come on, you'll probably start getting less bone. So if your strategy is to try and maximize bone, by the time it starts getting high, if you're not willing to increase your stake, you could technically pull out your position and try your hand at providing liquidity, which I'll talk about next. So basically, two bearing strategies which I could give you a tip in is, if you want to increase your share, tip number one is increase the amount of tokens that you have. That way, you'll potentially get more. Or tip number two is try and get in early, because you'll be getting a lot more bone earlier than you would be later, unless you're continually increasing your position. So let's just say you get to around the middle, and then you see that your bone returns are dwindling, and you want to try and maximize before the end of the event. We're going to jump to our next bit. We're going to talk about providing liquidity. This is also called digging. Okay, here's pretty much digging. Digging is providing liquidity. It's really important that you watch the previous video. I spoke a bit in detail about this, but I'll give you a bit of a recap. So basically, in the Shiba Inu ecosystem, providing liquidity is actually, there are certain pairs which have already been picked within the shibaswap, and those pairs are given a certain weighting called an AP, allocation pair, with the highest being a fusion between bone and ETH and so forth, all the way down to here. So the higher weighted ones, during the whole liquidity event, they will reward you if you provide liquidity of ETH, of a combination of ETH and Bone, you will there's a high pool of rewards for that. So I'm going to explain exactly what that is. For most of you, well, for some of you who might not know what liquidity is, I'm going to jump in and describe from, here's a Google search I recently did. It says here, in its most simple form, liquidity refers to how easy it is to convert a cryptocurrency into cash quickly. And yeah, I'll jump and see if there's another definition. Here's a good one. What is liquidity? Liquidity is the measure of the ease at which an asset can be converted to another asset without affecting its price. Okay, with that as a foundation, let's quickly explain liquidity pairs. Imagine Shib, there was one Shib token and it's worth $1. And there's one Ethereum token and it's also worth $1. If I buy 500, I want to create a Shib ETH pair, which is this one here. Let's just say that this one here, Shib ETH pair. I'm going to, if I buy 500 of these, it means I'll need to buy $500 worth of Ethereum, and then I fuse them. When they become fused, a new token called Shib ETH is created, and it's given the weighting of 500. 500 means I've got 500 value, I guess, of each of these tokens, and then that will go into the pool. That 500, that's $500 and Shib $500 ETH, and that's a total of $1,000. So what I'm about to explain to you is are some of the risks associated with liquidity. That's one of the reasons why we are rewarded with so much Bone, because liquidity, for one, is something which is very much needed with for a swap to work. A swap can't work if there's no liquidity. Just like banks, in stock markets and stuff, they can't work if there's no liquidity. So what we're doing is we're providing liquidity and we're gaining rewards for that. But it's important to know. Let me try and explain to you the concept of impermanent loss. Okay, so let's just say the price of Shib starts increasing, which it will during because of the demand during the liquidity event. It goes up to, let's say the price now jumps to $1.25. Remember we had $1,000 first. Our liquidity position is gone up. Oh, I forgot to mention, these are all the other providers of liquidity. We've got Ace, James, Michael, Amy, and Elon, and this is our percentage share. And based on our percentage share, that's how much Bone will be rewarded with, in addition to other rewards. Anyway, back to this. So so far it's all right. The price of Shib has increased slightly, and the liquidity amount, the value of our token has sort of also increased. But what would happen if suddenly, if dropped in value to about there? So if ETH at some point dropped in value, suddenly we're now at this is what's called an impermanent loss. And if we pull out our position here, we will be at a loss position, because remember we entered in with 1,000, but now we're pulling out for whatever reason we're pulling out at 750, and we'll still get the rewards, because for every 13.2 seconds that we're in there, we're being allocated our portion of Bone rewards. But when we pull out, we actually like worse off. So that's something you should look out for. Let me see if there's a definition of impermanent loss. Okay, cool. Okay, impermanent loss refers to the temporary loss caused to a liquidity provider due to the volatility in a trading pair. So basically what I've just explained here. So because of that volatility, it could go down. So so you might want to ask, so how can we minimize that? What some of the ways of minimizing it? Shib stable coins. A stable coin is basically a token which is pegged at $1. In this case, this WBTC, it's pegged at $1. USDC is pegged at $1. So that's a really good way which most people use to minimize fluctuations. So because it's more stable, the reward is also a bit lower, well, a lot lower in comparison to these ones, and also because the developers are trying to incentivize people to provide particularly these pairs, because this will be where a lot of the traffic is going to be coming from. So in your strategy, you may want to, as I said before, shift between staking and providing liquidity and having a look at seeing what plays out best. I'll give you a few more pointers on those of you who want to know how to minimize risk. Let's see. How do I stop impermanent loss? Okay, providing liquidity to stable coins. I think I explained that one there. Avoiding risky and volatile cryptocurrency pairs. You may have to do some research and see. You'd have to monitor the market on each sort of pairing and see what's being too volatile, and then pull out your position, before a loss takes place. But remember, it's an impermanent loss, means at some point Ethereum will come back up, and then you're back in an okay position again. It's really all about monitoring and timing. Let's have a look at what else it says. Providing liquidity to pools with unevenly weighted cryptocurrencies. So yeah, that's something to avoid. And it says here, providing liquidity to incentivized pools. See, that's exactly what shibaswap is providing us. We have incentivized pools, and it says here, and participating in liquidity mining programs. That sounds a lot like the Shiba Inu liquidity event to me, doesn't it, guys? Okay, cool. So those are some things I could show you, and hopefully you find those helpful. What I also want to show you is I do have some. In my previous video, I explained that I actually already have some pairs. If you read the Wolf paper, it says that you can either create pairs on the shibaswap platform, or let me see. I think we can create pairs. I think, yeah, if you by clicking on dig, you have the opportunity to create pairs, or you can import them from another swap exchange, in particular Uniswap and SushiSwap. A couple of weeks ago, whilst I was researching all this, I already prepared. I really wanted to find out about all this, so I actually went to Uniswap and I experimented. I got a few positions, and then I got to see how this liquidity stuff works. So and I did experience in fact, I'm getting good returns on it. I'll show you that in a second. But it's a good way for me to show you an impermanent loss as well. These ones here, if you remember watching my previous video, are the pairs which I got: Leash F, Shib F, and I got a couple of the stable coins and a random one here, Uni ETH. So I'm going to show you a snapshot of Uniswap. This is the interface. So in total, I've provided a total of 1,800 in liquidity. I'm just showing you this because I think it's a good example. And from that, it appears I have earned $43 worth of fees. If I pull out now, I'll get all my liquidity back plus rewards. Now the better thing about ShibaSwap is we'll be getting our fees in terms of our ETH fees, but we'll also be getting Bone and also stable coins as well. So we'll be getting 3 times as many rewards depending on the token which you pick. Okay, let me show you something. So this is the position which I actually I tested with. These are the pairs which I had: Shib F, Leash, as I said before, and these are the current returns, and this is how much liquidity I provided. So let me show you something. Okay, I think it was about, this was about 14 days ago, so it's about 2 weeks. I'll try to show you a quick example. I added ETH and Uni, so for a total of $48. So about half of that, I think $24 ETH and $24 Uni. That's what I put in. So that makes a total of 48. And let's see what my current position is. Remember, it was Uni, so Uni and ETH. It becomes what's called wrapped ETH when you pair it together. So that's this one here. So notice that I added a pair at $48, but the current value right now is 39. So that's happened because most probably this Uni pair has dropped in value. So if I was to pull out now, I only have 0.06 rewards. So even if I add those together, that's going to still put me in a loss position if I pull out. So I'm experiencing an impermanent loss right now. That's one of the risks. And just so I won't make this video too long, just to let you know, I'm also experiencing an impermanent loss in these two. But then that's the I think that just forms a good example. But I also have added pairs for ETH and Shib. So I put in preparation for the coming liquidity event, because I do want to try and get as much of this position as I can, to get as much bone as I can. So I jumped in. I have a total of his ETH and Shib, and I think I added some a bit later. Okay, no, I have a total of 651. That's how much I put in, and this was 3 days ago, guys. 3 days ago. Let's see where I'm at now with my Shib ETH. So from 600, you see how it's gone up now to 900. That's because both of these are going up in value. And this is the amount of fees which I've earned. So if I was to pull out there, I would definitely be in a profit position. And here's my leash position as well. I don't talk much about leash, but I've only recently gotten a position. It's definitely one of my favorite tokens. I'll have to dedicate a separate video just to leash alone. Okay, I'll show you. Let's jump in. Here's leash. Now, 3 days ago, I put in 496.85. In that position, and about 24 hours ago I added to that position. So let's have a look and see what that does. So 496.85. I'm going to add the other one plus 183. 4. So this is how much that was my outlay, 679. Let's just see what my ETH leash position is. Remember, I had 679, and that's now gone up to, because of increase in value, to 834. And over those past, it's only been a few days, I've got this amount in rewards, and that's because I've increased my position in these two. I have a higher sort of proportion, a bigger position, so I can start getting a lot higher rewards. So the better thing about shibaswap, though, is I won't just be getting rewards in terms of stable coins or ether. I'll be getting with leash. Let me see. Do I have something with leash? Leash, I would be getting. Looks like leash here. I'll be getting 1%. I'll be getting bone. In addition to that, I'll be getting 1% of all WBTC swap transactions and 0.1% of all USDC swap transactions. So that's triple the reward. So that's the power of shibaswap at the moment. They're really incentivizing all of that. So this, I hope that some of this has helped you guys. I think my video may have gone a bit long, but I really want to thank you for all of those who continue watching my videos and who continue supporting. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate just a thumbs up. just a thumbs up is really good. It really helps in pushing out. And if you think it's valuable to the Shiba army, please consider sharing it. Cool. And I just want to give a few shout outs to a couple of people. Latanya Davies, thank you. I will definitely do this probably for you. This video is getting too long, but you asked, can you put 2 billion in the Shib calculator? Thank you. And I definitely will do that. And McAfee Antivirus, I hope this video has answered your question. You said, can I make a video on how to make the most out of digging with the lowest possibility of impermanent loss? There's that. And yeah, since this video is getting too long, guys, I will probably cut it off there. Next time, I'll do a separate video for, if you guys want, if you let me know how much Shib or how much of any token that you have, if you let me know the value, even if it's just the average value and the total amount of tokens you have, and we can have a play. And for example, I have currently I have 379 mil, which I've invested in April as an example here, and I could say that, let's just say after shibaswap, this is going to jump up to 10. Let's say 10 billion. Cool. And then this pretty much shows us that my position would have jumped up to 12,000, which is pretty cool. Some of you guys find that pretty fun. So yeah, why don't you give me your positions and I'll make a dedicated video just so we can just play with some numbers. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is just a guy who just built a calculator and we have some fun with it. So I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research before you invest into cryptocurrency. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I'll check you out very soon. Let's have a look. Has shibaswap come out whilst I'm recording this video? No, not yet. Okay. See you guys next time. Peace.